A very good afternoon, my dear children. Hope you all have completed the revision of the first chapter very well. We have done the notes, we have done the question answers, and even the small questions that I gave from within the chapter was also discussed through Cisco WebEx. So I expect and I hope, children, that you all are totally prepared with the first chapter. Now we will do the fourth chapter, that is agriculture. Now these two chapters are there for your first term. So this chapter is also quite a long chapter. So anyway, I will be doing the chapter and also I'll be giving the notes every day. So if anybody is not having books with you, it will not be a issue with you all. Everybody will go through the notes after watching the video. Now children, this agriculture is the fourth chapter of your book. This term agriculture is derived from originally Latin word. It comprises of two words, agri and cultura. Agri, in some books you will also get it as ager, A-G-E-R. Now agri or ager, both of them means field, and the word cultura means cultivation. That means tilling of the soil for growing crops. Crops are produced not only for the human beings but also for the cattle, that is the livestock. So this growing of crops for both the human beings as well as cattle is the most important part of agriculture. Apart from that, we also have other sectors which are a part of this agriculture sector, that is your forestry, that is collection of different kinds of forest products. Then you must be knowing that beekeeping is also activity where bees are reared and honey is extracted. So beekeeping apart from forestry. Then we have fishing and the rearing of livestock, that is dairy farming. All this are a part of agricultural sector, or the rearing of livestock, I can say, not only the dairy cattle but the entire livestock, and also poultry farming. So directly apart from the cultivation of the crops, we have this rearing of animals or the livestock, then beekeeping, forestry, that is collection of different kinds of forest products. Then we have fishing, poultry farming are all the part of agricultural sector. So the raising of all these things and their trade and processing of the products will come under the agricultural sector. Now this agriculture sector is a very important part of our economy, not only of our economy but of all the developing nations of the world more or less share the same type of importance for this agricultural sector. Now let us do the importance of agriculture in the economy. Now this is the main source of livelihood for all the developing nations of the world. Like India is a developing nation, so although we have progressed a lot in different spheres, but still it is the main source of livelihood for the majority of our population. Recent years we have seen a shift to the other sectors. We have studied in class 9th as well, but still the dominant sector is the agricultural sector in our country. And as it is the dominant sector, it is the major source of our national income as well as national revenue. The government revenue, the major portion is provided by this agricultural sector. And agriculture of course provides us with one of the most basic requirement, that is food. it produces food, it grows crops, and so food is produced for the human beings and fodder is produced for the animal. That is, some crops are grown for feeding the cattle, so that is known as fodder. Then there are many agricultural products like sugar, tea, rice, spices, which are exported out of our country. And since a long time back, we know very well that different items used to move out of our country since the ancient days. So, these items, these agricultural products, constitute the major part of our trade. So, when there is international trade, obviously, this provides us with the much needed revenue for the economic development of the country. Then all the agro-based industries like our sugar industry, our cotton and jute fabrics, the food processing industries like the industries which supplies us with edible oil, or like the smaller ones which dehusks the rice and supplies us. So different kinds of food processing industries are there which are a part of this agricultural sector because they derive the raw materials from the agricultural sector. Then internal trade is also taking place within the country with the agricultural products. So the different products are moved throughout the country by our advanced transportation system, and this adds to the revenue of the country. A huge share of foreign exchange is also provided by this sector because the agricultural products, which I said is a very important part of the export trade. So they provide us with the much needed foreign exchange. They provide us with the much needed foreign exchange of our country. Then comes the construction of many irrigation projects, drainage system, drainage scheme, or other related activities where employment is generated. So directly the farmers are growing crops and they are getting employment. Many of them are laborers who are engaged for farming, but indirectly the construction of different kinds of irrigation projects or drainage scheme also provide employment in this sector. So this sector is a major employment generator in our country, and as employment is generated, obviously it contributes to the economic development, it contributes to the national income, it raises the standard of living of the people engaged in this sector. So this is a very important sector of our country which supports the country in different ways. Then apart from this environment generation, we all know very well that every country wants to have food security. If there is no food security in the country, then we will have to depend upon the imported food grains or imported agricultural products, which prove to be a very costly affair, and that means we have to spend a lot of money in buying agricultural products from other countries. But this agricultural sector is ensuring that there is food security in the country, and if there is food security, there will not be any kind of undernourishment or malnutrition in the country, and this is a major problem which has been faced by different developing countries, especially African countries. But in our country, we are lucky that a large part of our country is occupied by very fertile soil, and hence this fertile soil, along with different kinds of initiatives taken by our government, has helped the country to achieve food security, and this is a very important issue for all of us, for the entire population. So most countries, especially the developing countries, rely mostly on agricultural sector for the national development, for the economic development, and agricultural sector contributes hugely in generation of employment, in generation of national income, in generation of foreign exchange for the country. Therefore, agricultural sector has a major role to play in giving stability, economic stability to the country. Now, the next topic of this chapter is types of farming. Now, farming types in the country is controlled by a combination of different factors. Now, we all know, children, that this was the first settled economic activity of the human beings. When the human beings started settling along the bank of the river, they needed a permanent supply of food. So they started cultivating. But this farming practices have changed since the human beings have started living a settled life. So we have factors related to the physical environment. Now always when I teach geography, I say physical environment is the natural environment. Everything belongs to the nature. So here the physical environment will of course be the climatic condition, it will be the relief features, and also soil fertility. Now when I say climate, that means that here temperature, rainfall, these two are the most basic factors, because different crops have their requirement of temperature as well as water. We cannot grow every type of crop in every season. There is certain requirement of every crop type, and accordingly the crop is grown, that is best suited to that particular growing season. Then comes our relief. Relief is the land, that is the flatlands are the best areas for growing crops. The hilly areas have sloping land, as well as the soil layer is quite thin, so it is not much suitable, though crops are grown along the hill slopes of our country, but it is not very much suitable for growing crops. And then comes the plateau areas. Plateau areas are mostly undulating and the soil is not much fertile, so the plateau area is not very much promising for growing crops. Then comes our soil. Of course, every soil has their own kind of nutrients. Their water holding capacities varies. The soil texture varies from place to place, and so different soil types will be supporting different varieties of crops. So these three factors are the basic natural factors that control what type of crop can be grown in whichever part of our country. So climate, relief, and soil are the three dominant factors of physical environment. The next factor here is technological know-how. Now when we say technological know-how, that means how much advancement has been there in terms of technology since human beings started cultivating. In the previous or the olden times, people used to use simple tools like our simple digging tools like a sickle, hoe, a spade. But as time changed, as population grew, as demand for crops increased, there was necessary to grow crops in bulk quantity, that is in huge quantities, and the traditional or the ancient tools were not sufficient to support the huge population. So it was necessary to increase productivity with the help of some modern methods. And here came the necessary to invent machineries, and different machineries were put to use to increase the agricultural productivity. So the use of machineries increased the productivity. Also, the knowledge of different kinds of fertilizers, pesticides, then HIV seeds, and in the recent times, genetic engineering in agricultural sector have also raised the productivity from the agricultural sector to a large extent. So as time changed, modernization deemed in every sector of the economy. The agriculture sector was not left out, and in the agricultural sector there was introduction of machineries, HIV seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, irrigation projects supplied water throughout the year, and of course different hybrid varieties of crops came to be grown. And in the recent years, genetic engineering is also supporting the agricultural sector to a great extent. The next factor is socio-cultural practices. Now, when we say socio-cultural practices, here different factors work in combination among the farming groups, that is the farmers. So these different factors affect the thought process, feelings and behaviors of the people engaged in agriculture. Like for example, we have attitude of the people, their identity, cultural identity, like some groups of people will be there who are farmers generation after generation, and they love to maintain their basic identity. So cultural identity, cultural change, then their difference between difference between different ethnic groups. Then we have some ethnic values also within the society. Then of course family and kinship structure, that is like one generation after another generation continues the same process of cultivation. Then power, then we have different racial groups having their own traditional practices. Regional differences is also of course there. Then religious beliefs, taboos, rituals, all these factors make up the socio-cultural practices for any group. There will be some groups who will never move out of their of this economic activity and continue to cultivate their field generation after generation. Whatever may be changes in the outside world, they are not at all bothered, and they will continue this age-old traditional practice because they have to maintain their family tradition or tradition of their particular society or particular racial group. So all these factors combine together to give rise to different farming practices in our country. At present, farming practice in our country varies from subsistence to commercial. Now, subsistence type means cultivation is there, but it is mainly for own consumption. That is, consumption within the family, within the society or the social group. And when it is commercial, that means the production is for mainly sale in the market. So, in different farming types ranging from subsistence to commercial, we have different subgroups. Now in this chapter, first we will study these different subgroups, that is different farming practices carried out in India, and then we will study about the cropping season and of course the different types of crops grown in the country. Now children, coming to the notes of this agriculture sector. Agriculture includes cultivation of land, beekeeping, forestry, fishing, poultry farming and cattle rearing. Now agriculture term is derived from a Latin word which means field and cultivation. The Latin words is agri or it is ager, and the other word is cultura, agri meaning field and cultura meaning cultivation. It means the science and art of producing crops and livestock for economic purpose. It is raised for the use of mankind. That is, the crops are raised for the use of mankind. Now coming to the importance of agriculture, it's the main source of livelihood for developing countries like India. It is the main source of national income and national revenue, main supplier of both food and fodder. Agricultural crops like sugar, tea, rice, spices, etc. constitute the major items of export which helps in economic development of the country. All the agro-based industries like sugar, food processing, cotton and jute fabrics are dependent on agricultural sector for supply of raw materials. Internal trade in agricultural products supplies the much needed revenue to the government. A huge share of foreign exchange earning comes from agricultural sector. Construction of irrigation schemes, drainage system as well as other related activities in this sector generates huge employment. Due to employment generation, this sector also contributes to better economic development, national income and standard of living. A stable agricultural sector ensures food security. Food security prevents malnutrition, a major problem faced by developing nations. Most countries therefore rely on agricultural products as well as associated industries for their main source of income.